So the number one challenge in SMMA is, getting somebody to book a call. But once they're in the call and you're presenting them your services, well, there's kind of a gray area with what you're supposed to present, what's expected. And the short answer is everybody's different. But in today's video, I wanted to run through exactly what I tell my potential clients in those meetings, the exact presentation that I use, and how you can implement the same thing for your agency as well. I'm always a firm believer that if I can get somebody to book a meeting with me, I'm fairly confident I can turn that potential client into a full paying client. And it's all about confidence and what you present in the presentation. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let me get right into my presentation. If you've been a watcher of my channel before, you'll likely know that my agency is called Upper Hand Marketing. It's pretty much the entity that I run all my services and payment through, Upper Hand Marketing Agency LLC. But I start off with this introductory, page, nothing crazy. This is where we really get into the meat of things. You're starting off with your mission statement and what you're trying to accomplish if they hire you. So for me, it's we handle all things marketing, so you as the business owner can work stress-free and put your focus towards what matters. A lot of people don't want to really mess with the marketing, and they'll kind of delegate it. Even if they think they can do it well, they don't want to spend their time with it. So we pretty much take the idea that we want to take all of that stress off of their hands so they can focus on logistics, service delivery, fulfillment, whatever it may be on their end. That's our mission statement. I also go into a little bit about me because I think it establishes a little bit of credibility with my background. Youngest member of Fortune 500 Global Payments Internship Program, #2 marketing internship in the world, graduated my BBA. A couple things here, not to brag, but to just establish a little bit of credibility. So once I'm finished with that, I go into my services, and I have 6 services here, but really the way that I break this down is I've got my 3 main services on the left, and then the 3 on the right kind of feed into those services. So for example, for social media management, we can have everything from content creation, UGC, and copywriting done for them. Email marketing, we can have copywriting done for them and content creation. And then for paid ads, we can also do content creation, UGC, and copywriting. So pretty much everything that this entails is just a web of what I do. So I like to kind of give them a visual of everything that we'll handle for them, if they had any of these on their mind, which if they're looking for a digital marketer, likely they've had one of these 6 services. But like I said, you don't want to spread yourself too thin, because once you do that, you're not specialized in one or a couple things. So for me, I'm really specialized in social media management, email marketing, and I tell them that paid ads is not necessarily like my highest priority service. That being said, we have some good results for clients with paid ads, so that's why I wrote this in here. But social media management, email marketing are pretty much the main 2, and then content creation, UGC, copywriting go into it as well. So I do know some UGC creators that I've used in the past. My content creation portfolio, I just have a photography and videography kind of section of my agency that I've kind of started back in high school. I did like photography, videography business for different e-commerce clients and car companies and things like that. And then copywriting here. And this might go away with the implementation of ChatGPT, but I still have it nonetheless. So once I talk about my services, I go into depth with everything. So you can feel free to pause this and read through these, but really just goes into depth with everything that I talk about. So for paid ads tailored to the online aspect of your business, one, Facebook ads with the goal to maximize profit and bookings. Email marketing is similar. Social media, content creation, it's really just kind of encompassing everything that I do into like one short slide. And I'll talk about my case studies a little bit later, but this is an overall plan of how I would go about it if they were to hire me. It gives them a little bit more comfortability. The whole point in the presentation is to let them know that you know what you're talking about. And even if you're a beginner and you're trying to get into it, you want to establish a confidence or something about you that lets them know that you know what you're talking about. And so whether you do or not, whether you're landing them to outsource them to an experienced freelancer, you want to know what you're talking about in the first place so that they hire you and they feel confident with you. So I told them about my services in the last slide. I break each one of them down further, giving me credit. And then I talk about some keys to success. So I call them the 3 C's to success. It's kind of cheesy, but I think as a small agency that these C's are very important. And the first one being consistency, whether it's social media management, email marketing, paid ads, our management wants to stay consistent. There's never going to be something where you do it up front and you let it automate and run for 6 months to a year. So we're consistent in the way that we manage things. Collaboration. It's their business at the end of the day. We want their input. We want to follow their brand guidelines. And there's typically like a 2 to 4 week period where we really, go heavy on collaboration and then go our separate ways once they know, what we're doing and they know how we do things. But that collaboration is super, super important. And it kind of feeds into the third one here, which is communication. And like I said, as a small agency, there's no reason why we should wait an entire day to respond to somebody. I always like to tell people if it's during business hours, normal business hours, which is 8 to 5 on the East Coast, then I'll respond to you. Like before before the day is over, I will respond to you. And if not, then I will get to it first thing in the morning. And that's a promise to my clients as well, because it's really important for marketing agencies to have that communication. I've told this story before, but I had this paid ads client that I got the paid ads service because they had an agency in the past that wouldn't answer their messages for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they were only a 2-person agency. So crazy things there, but communication is very, very key if you want to sustain success. And then I talk about a timeline. So this timeline is something that, you don't have to, frame your agency like I did mine, but if theoretically we sign them in January, I'd usually like to sign a 3-month evaluation or 3-month contract, and then have that evaluation at the back end of the 3 months. So like, for example, if I sign them in January, we would, have a 3-month evaluation, restructuring the contract in March. My whole, mindset behind that is that I don't want to lock them down for a year, and I give them 3 months to really, help them understand what I'm about and how I can help their business further. Optimal results are obviously past that. So like the 3 to 6 month mark is really where they're going to see the best practices. We've gotten under their brand guidelines by that point. We've established what works and what doesn't work. And once they understand that, those are where the optimal results are going to be. And then at the end of the 3-month contract, I typically like to sign a 6-month. So that's where you see this March to September is the end of the 6-month contract, reevaluation as well. And then December is 12-month mark, evaluation and results. Where have we gone from January to February? And how can we do that in the future as well? And then after this, there's really nothing. So this is what I end my presentation with. When I talk about case studies, I know I brought it up earlier, talking about case studies is very important. You want to have something under your belt, even if you don't have, anything that you've done for a client before. If you haven't done anything for a client before, your case study should be that you'll do it for free for a couple of weeks. And if you come across confident and you come across like you know what you're doing, you will land that. So my case studies are very important to me because I have driven results. I have a case study PDF with 4 companies that we've worked for. I'm not going to put it on the screen because it has their company names on it, and we have a clause where we don't really want to share that information, but it's very important that you create that. And in Canva, there's tons of templates you can use, even free templates where you can put just the information where, I have things like open rates for emails, return on ad spend, CPM, CPC, and different things like that, different metrics like that you can draw from your previous clients. Or even if it's something where, you're building an Instagram account, I'll show you something real quick. So this is an older presentation that I had, but I put these in there because these were different theme accounts and introductory accounts that we worked with. And I put these in there because this is the only thing I had. I think the one in the middle is like a theme account that I was working on, and I threw it in there because it had some good success. The one on the left is an actual client where we begun their work and grew 106%. Facebook screenshot on the right, my case study, portfolio has gotten way more professional since this, but I wanted to show that. The whole point with a good presentation, like I said earlier, is to get the point across that you know what you're talking about. I really recommend that before you get into SMMA, you understand what a good service delivery looks like. That way, if they have questions for you in the sales meeting, you can, meet their expectations and tell them what a good service delivery, outcome would look like for them specifically. A lot of people go into it with the mindset that they're just going to land a client, outsource the work, and know nothing about marketing. I think that's a bad business model. You have to know a little bit about marketing and SMMA to get into it. And, hopefully channels like this give you a little bit more insight. I know there's tons of channels on YouTube and free sources on Google as well. You don't need to pay for an $1,000 course, and you can just watch videos like this for completely free that tell you exactly what to do. If you're at this point in the video, I really appreciate you watching. Like I said, there's tons of videos that help you with service delivery, how to land a client, different outreach methods on my channel. So feel free to binge, but I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Peace.